So I'm about to do a review to Bleach Manga chapter 681. Now before I get into the craziness of this chapter, and I know there's a lot of controversy, but before I do, there was a couple of things that I noticed throughout the week. Number one, obviously the whole announcement with the manga coming to an end pretty soon, and now we have confirmation in 5 to 4 chapters it is ending. So it is what it is. So and there's a lot of controversy, but in my latest video, when I posted the video about in volume 74 is going to be the last, and since we are into volume 74 anyway, one of the comments I got was the reason that this could be happening as abruptly as this is because of Shonen. A lot of people have said this, a lot of people have said that in the reviews, and I can see why they would think this, and I do agree with it, because especially with the way this chapter was kind of handled. I mean, you could argue the fact that it was heavily rushed, no doubt about it. Now, I don't know if that's the fault of Koba or if it's the fault of Shonen, but yeah, I definitely agree. And I think one of the interesting comments he made were because the ratings haven't been that good when it comes to the manga. Shonen, a lot of people are saying they're pushing that to the side to bring in new manga, but it could ultimately be about the ratings. Obviously, it means money, and money means good things for Shonen, regardless of how cold it sounds. No, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. The main issue of this chapter, or the main purpose of this chapter, two things. Number one is the setup for the final fight. Now, if you thought it was predictable that Ichigo and Uryu would be back in action, congratulations, because that's exactly what this chapter was. Even though I kind of questioned the way it went down. First off, let's start with the beginning of the portion of the chapter, and in all honesty, I gotta give credit. The best character, or in my opinion, of the chapter was Renji, and I'll tell you why. First off, he starts the chapter off by attacking Yhawch. We know that was pointless, but he still attacks him anyway to prevent him from going to I'm assuming to the world of the living. He went for the Stargate-like portal. We don't know. Obviously, for plot purposes and because of time constraints, you could assume it's the world of the living. Anyway, Renji goes in with the Zabimaru, and that didn't do crap because he blocked number one. He blocked it with one hand, and then he crushed it with one hand. It looked like he shattered Zabimaru, but I think that's what he did. Doesn't matter. He blocked Renji's attack like it's nothing while he was passing through the portal. Talk about broken OP. And speaking of which, first stuff, and once again, Ichigo with the emo Ichigo with the defeatist attitude, like the despair is here. We can't win. We can't do anything. And I'm a little bit disappointed that Ruki wasn't one to kick his ass and say, let's do this. But no, even though Renji got his Zabimaru destroyed or whatever, the fact is, Renji was the one who picked Ichigo up and said, you know what, get your ass in shape, we're going after him, we need to take care of this. And you gotta give mad props to Renji, because he didn't scream or cry his eyes out when he lost his Zap Battle like Ichigo's been doing for the past 2 chapters, or more, because he's done this before, and I'm not going to bring up too much about the Fullbringer, although that is important, considering it's the return of the Fullbringers in this chapter. Oh boy, and this is where it gets a lot of confusion and a little bit pissed off, to be all honest with you, because the way it was handled. Well, first off, before I get to there, we do get the send off with Hashwald, and I gotta give him credit, even though I kind of questioned it, given the fact the way he was talking 2 chapters ago, and the way he's been talking to Uryu throughout this non-physical but verbal fight. In my opinion, pointless, because well, first off, look at the way and I get it. He messed up. He realized he worshipped the one person, which kind of reminds me of what Bellybean from One Piece did with Doflamingo. If you follow One Piece, you know what I'm talking about. But even that, and don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing the strengths. I'm just saying the characters are similar towards the end. He knows he fucked up, but he can't go back. He's married him, so he can't really say, "Oh, I can't be disappointed with this." But what he did do was transfer the words that Uryu had to his own, which is another way of saying Uryu is going to be participating in the final fight. And if you look at the way it's set up, it looks like it's going to be Ichigo and Uryu which I don't mind taking on Yhawch because I actually made this prediction last week. Now, the other part, most other predictable part of the chapter was Orihime being alive. Obviously, she wasn't dying. Now, before I get to this, the whole business with the Bankai snapping beforehand and how everybody felt trolled, I did say during the review, no matter how pissed off everybody thought at that time, I did say that maybe the reason Kua did it because he was able to tie the loose ends. However, we don't know whether or not the announcement was set, but we don't know if it was really in motion for Bleach ending at that point, or because we just felt like trolled. What the fuck's going on? And in some cases, this chapter is kind of the same, although it was kind of neat seeing the Zangetsu back restored to his Bankai, or his new Bankai, depending on how you take it. But I do have a couple of questions. First off, Orihime with Rukia saying, I think Rukia was the one saying, "Oh, we can't be a guy who can have an ability as broken as that." However, once again, Ichigo being super emo, saying, "I agree, we can't defeat him." Then out of nowhere, Tsukishima comes in with the sword and all this, and it changes the game, yes, but the way it was done, I mean, it's so fucking rushed, and it was so like, I don't know if it was. I don't know what you guys think. I know there's a lot mixed reactions to this because it feels like bullshit. And the way it was, I gotta say that Tsukishima's ability, I did not know it was as broken as that. Now let's see if I can figure this out. So he stabbed Ichigo. I thought his Book of End or his Fullbring ability were he can influence a person's past by injecting or replacing their memories or replacing the past or whatever. I don't recall saying he can restore inanimate objects from a different timeline in the past, because that's the way I took it, and maybe I could be wrong, but when he stabbed Ichigo, he obviously brought back Ichigo to the point, or the Zanpakuto to the point where there was a past where Zangetsu wasn't shattered during the Bankai, and somehow Tsukishima had enough influence to make that happen. So what happened then? I'm not too sure why she said, unless he said Zangetsu can be restored now because because a different timeline was altered in the past. This is a classic case of time struggle. I think that's the way it went, and then you do see Zangetsu restored. So a lot of hype building there, but ultimately got ultra confusing. And to be honest with you, it was kind of cliche because. I do have another question as well. Since that Bankai was restored, does that mean Tsukishima could also restore Ichigo to the point where his hollow powers and his Quincy powers weren't absorbed? That's the question I have. I don't think we got the answer to it, and I hope we will. But I'm just going to lay that out there because this could determine or not whether or not Ishida and Ryu can come in and give up the power. So we know they'll come in. And given the fact there's only 4 chapters left, and again, there's no way you can wrap it up. It's going to be rushed, but there are some, and I said this before about why we got the troll when we did. Again, look, if you think about it from a Kubo standpoint, he has to find a way to bring all the loose ends, like the Aizen factor, like how he finally brought Renji and Ruki into the picture, and now with the Fullbringers, although I wasn't expecting Ginjo of all people to come in. Not that I could give a shit about Ginjo, I really don't. But it is what it is. I was hoping that Aizen would step in of all people, but either he's going to pop up towards the end or something. I mean, or is he going to just sit his ass in the chair for the rest of the fight? I don't know. I really have to do mixed feelings about this. Oh my god! And secondly, the characterization for Ichigo. Listen, this is the only time I'm going to say this, but Hashwall got more development in this chapter than Ichigo's had in this entire arc. That's just my opinion. Holy shit. Talk about a nosedive from super emo to, oh, we could do this now because I have Sangetsu. What the? I don't recall Ichigo being like that. Granted, I've only just caught up recently, but I'll tell you this. Ichigo had more character going up against Aizen Granted, I don't think Aizen's just as powerful or broken as you are, but I'll say this: Ichigo was, and by the way, don't say that Ichigo it wasn't as mature now because he is. He should be, and he should be able to accept that shit. And I've seen so many people say call on bullshit like this because it's the reason people didn't like the Fullbring arc. Or again, touchy subject, I know, and honestly, it's the only arc I'm glad I didn't pick up in the volume in DVD sets. God, but overall, super mixed feelings about this chapter. Yes, we are ending it in 4 to 5 chapters, perhaps, but I gotta be honest with you, I'm not too thrilled about the way Ichigo's character has been handled, and that might be a part of the problem. Is not only the fact that Yhawch is so broken right now, although it does look like we're gonna get Yhawch taking on Ichigo and Uryu. If you look at it from a setup standpoint, that's why. Because why else would Hashwald heal up Uryu? And another thing, who else do you think is going to go through the portal to take on Yhawch? Obviously, Uryu and Ichigo come to mind, but because it's a finale, I don't know. You got certain people that, I mean, Uryu could be a huge factor considering the fact he can somewhat alter the past because of his abilities, but, and again, I'm going to call bullshit. Despite the fact that Yhawch is broken right now, if he really had every possible way to see every possible future, then he should have seen this shit coming, or he just fucked up and let Ichigo go on a whim. I'm not too sure what to think about this, other than this chapter felt super rushed. But let me know what you guys think down below. That's gonna do this for review. Like the video, I appreciate that. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down below. Bye.